I appreciate you catching me jumping on. And look, I fully understand your position on elected officials. You know, I don't view myself as that. Uh, I'm from 56 and Market. I went to all the public schools in West Philadelphia, and now I represent the same community that I grew up in. A victim of gun violence, been incarcerated the whole nine. Self-made entrepreneur, and I'm never going to lose that connection between my title and my community. My community comes first. That's why I stay in my own lane, and I'm in the community every single day, doing as much as I can to make sure that the constituents that I represent are in the best possible shape that they can be in. But in reference to the ghost gun situation, I've been reaching out to elected officials and community leaders since 2017, talking about ghost guns. No one wanted to hear what I had to say. I'm like, listen, these untraceable firearms are a problem. We got to figure out how they're getting into our communities. They're in children's hands. They're being sold on the street for $1,100 to $1,500.
Excuse me, right? I mean, not to cut you off real quick. Can you break it down? Let the people know what the ghost gun is. Let them know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So the ghost guns, the ghost gun that name came from the street, right? These ghost guns, they call ghost guns because you can't find out where they were purchased. They're untraceable. There's no serial number. So if you can't find out where it came from or where it's going, they gave it the title ghost gun.
Right.
But what makes these things quote unquote legal federally is that when you purchase it, it comes in a box. It's a kit that you built yourself. And so the federal government believes that since it doesn't fire when you purchase it, is legally, technically not a firearm until you add some screws, you sand some pieces down, snap it together, then you have a functioning firearm. So back in when I was made aware of this,
I think the sound went up.
I was doing some work. Yeah, I was doing some work on a property in West Philly years ago, and some of the neighbors, it was a group of young dudes, West Philly block, right off of 51st and Brown. I was able to build a relationship with them dudes. I was hiring them to do odd jobs. But then one day I went into the house that they set up shop in, and it was guns and drugs everywhere. And I'm like, yo, my man, like, where y'all get these joints from? And they told me. They said, oh, no, we drive out to all the gun shows and we could buy many as we want. That was back in 2017.
4 years ago.
That was 4 years ago.
You've been on this for 4 years.
4 years. So when I made some people aware, like, look, we got to figure out what's up with these gun shows. Ain't nobody want to take it serious. A lot of people believe that the guns that are being taken off the street, they're being put back out into the street through the police department. I don't believe that.
Right.
So what I see is a lot of guns that you can't trace. They're brand new guns. A lot of these guns don't have a lot of bodies on them because they brand new ghost guns.
Right.
And people are considering them Glocks because it is a generic Glock. It looks just like a Glock.
Right.
So it's hard to decipher which is what. But when I got this title, I said, okay, I'm going to use this title to get me access. I drove, like you said, down to the gun show. I made it my mission to meet the owner, show him the impact of these things that he is allowing to be sold in our Black and brown communities. And when I tell you, when I was there, I went there with a hood on, with a mask on, and stood in line and witnessed people that looked like you and I buying these things by the dozen, driving back to Philly, unloading them, putting them together in their basements, and putting them on our streets. So it took about 2 weeks for me to get this agreement in place with this gun show promoter. And from there, he said, look, I ain't making no money off these things. I'm only making money off of the table that he leased to the company. The
Oh,
company, the company is called Polymer 80.
right.
They're located in Butler, PA. They manufacture these things in PA, 6 hours away.
Mm.
The owner purchased a old storage facility and he turned it into a factory where they manufacture these firearm kits, and he's letting them go. You know, no ID required, no nothing. So now, currently, to date, you cannot go to a PA gun show and purchase anymore. But that company still sells them online, but his sales have dropped like 80%.
Mm.
You know,
So
so
just for the people who listening, basically saying about these ghost guns is you don't need no identification. Go in there, give them cash, debit card, whatever, how they take it. Walk out with as many guns as you want and bring them back to the city of Philadelphia.
yeah, they cash only.
They're cash only. And you buy as many guns as you want, bring them back to the city. They're untraceable guns. And because they called the ghost gun, that's why because I was telling people a couple months ago, you only get charged with possession of ammunition. You don't get charged with possession of a firearm. You get charged with possession of ammunition. That's why you could pay bail on that. Sometimes you might not even get a bail on that because they really paying, you know what I mean, a high of a charge like that. Can you speak to that? Well,
Yeah, so that's what we're working on. Well, I know the federal government, you know, with the assistance of Joe Biden, I know that they're trying to change the language or amend the current language for these guns. But you're right, you can only currently get charged for the ammunition, which is not you know, that's just BS. We need accountability. These dudes know what they're doing. I got several guys that I grew up with. They know when I was growing up, we didn't drive into Jersey with our guns and drugs because we knew that there was a hefty consequence. Same with going over City Avenue into Montgomery County. We didn't go to that bowling alley with our guns and drugs. We just didn't do it.
right.
Because we knew if you go to Montgomery County with that bullshit, you got a problem.
They don't play over there, right?
Yeah. So why is it okay that we terrorize our own communities? You see what I'm saying? This is what needs to stop. You know, this slap on the wrist. Oh, he got problems at home. Cool. Let's fix those problems. But at the same time, we need accountability. We know what we're doing.
Right, and that's what I say all the time. Like, we can't paint everything with a broad brush. Yeah, you might got somebody who has a gun on him because he really protecting his home. He work every day. He might work on the block. We see dudes on the block. He don't feel safe. He got the gun because he protecting himself. Yeah, maybe we don't need to throw him in jail for 10, 20 years. Understand what I'm saying? But you might have somebody who has a gun on him, shot 3, 4 people. He getting out of jail, keeps shooting people, but somehow he, ended up on the street. Now, I ain't trying to tell you throw nobody under the bus or nothing like that. But as far as from what you see, what do you think is the issue? Because, you know, I hear a lot of politicians say, no accountability, no accountability. What exactly do they mean, in your opinion? What do you think as far as the criminals are looking at it, just like we said about, if we didn't want to go over Bucks County, like, we got criminals looking at Philly like, go over there, sweet, like, ain't nothing going to happen to you. So why does that happen?
So when I hear accountability from my colleagues, I'm hoping that we mean the same thing. You know, listen, I'm old school. I'm from the street. When I used to let dudes in my car, I knew what they had on them.
Right.
I knew what was about to happen. I knew the life that we live. Look, you do the time, you do the crime, you do the time. You know, not saying that throw people under the bus, but when I was growing up, people had honor and we respected what we did. If we made the decision and we knew the consequences, we took the chances.
Right.
These dudes these days, you know, let me ask you this. When you was growing up, do you remember women and children dying?
Not at all.
Not at all.
And if they did, it was a consequence for that.
Exactly. If a woman, if an innocent bystander got hurt while you was committing whatever crime you was doing, you better got out of Philadelphia within an hour.
Right.
Within an hour. Listen, what's going on in the city today is impacting every industry. And I'm not saying that I condone drug dealing or whatever, but do what you got to do to get your money. But I got drug dealers coming to me saying that these shooters are a problem for my business. Something needs to be done. I can't feed my, huh?
Say that again for the people.
We got drug dealers, and this is real talk. Drug dealers are saying these shooters are a problem because they're messing up everyone's business. So I know people say, "Oh, they're messing up the economy of Philadelphia." Well, what about every industry is impacted? We got to stop talking about the big guy. Let's talk about the guy who got to sell a little weed to feed his family. Look, they impacted too because now their line's all jacked up. You know, so, and again, I'm not saying that I condone drug deals or the selling of narcotics, but people got to do what they got to do. You know, and then this violence, you know, man, we just need accountability, man. And look, and I support programs, I support funding here, but we can't keep trying to throw money at everything. Money not going to solve this problem. You know, and I'm not saying that I have all the answers. And I'm not going to act like I have all the answers, but leaders need to come together. We need to empower people like you. We need to empower people like my man Terrence from No Gun Zone. We need to have y'all at the table because y'all having the conversations and y'all are on the forefront. All of that press conferences and all of that with all of my colleagues, that's nice. It's nice. It's not enough. It's not enough. I'm not trying to, I don't be at these conferences showing up when people dying and all of that because it's every single day. It's too late. We shouldn't even be having fucking press conferences. We should be talking about the success of our communities and how we about to turn things around. Not talking about, oh, well, it's so sad that she lost her child to gun violence. No, how about we talk about it's a wonderful thing that we were able to put her in a position that her children can get a full scholarship to Drexel. Let's talk about how we was able to lift these people in these Section 8 housing out of poverty and we're giving them ownership. That's what we need to be having press conferences about. All this other stuff is nonsense.
I agree.
We need to meet these people in the streets where they are and let them know that they can't keep on. Man, listen, our city is controlled by a bunch of young bulls who have no respect for anybody, and that shit needs to stop. That's just what it is.
Listen, I definitely appreciate you jumping on with me for these little couple minutes, man. Once again, it's state rep Armin Brown. Listen, he's new, up and coming. I'm gonna tell you, I know because I hear it all from all kinds of. A lot of people hating on him. There's a lot of people in this city that hate on him. There's a lot of elected officials that hate on him. The activists, they hate on him. I'm talking about he the real deal. Y'all heard what he just said. Same thing I've been telling y'all. When I was coming up, the cops tell me all the time, listen, they'll let you sell all the drugs you want. But when them bodies start dropping,
that's the problem.
It's just like you're saying, the drug dealers like up. Go ahead.
Yeah. Before I go, this phone about to die. I gotta go. I'm in Harrisburg. But no, so when I right before I got elected, when I won my primary election, I went to my old community, 56 and Market.
I think I lost you.
I told the dudes in my community, I said, listen, we grew up talking about how the politicians ain't shit. They too old, they too this. I told the guys in my community, I'm a politician now. I'm one of you. We got access. Let's utilize the access through me to turn our community around. I said, because this violence and all of that shit, I'm not having under my watch. I want to be able to say, in my first term, the body slowed down. Less people going to jail. More people got jobs. More people moved, got better housing. We cleaned up this community. This, that, and the third. I gave them the option. I said, look, you either contact me so I can help you, or don't call me when doors start getting kicked in. That's what it is. Because you have no excuse anymore. You have no excuse.
And that's real justice reform. That's justice reform for real. You know what I'm saying? That's how we got to do it. But like I say, I definitely appreciate you jumping on here, State Rep. I know you're busy, man. I know you got things to do, but any last words, anything you want to say to the people before you get out of here? The floor is yours.
Yeah, man. So, no, I'll say that I'm going to start being more vocal about things that's going on. And like you said, I do got a lot of haters, but you know, they took a couple shots at me and missed, and they see that you know, Philadelphia is in need for some you know, I just leave it at that, man.
Yeah, I know.
Philadelphia, we go, you know, but yeah,
I already
we'll
know.
have a sit down.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I got you. I'm gonna definitely get with you though, bro. I definitely appreciate you. I gotta get out of here too.
All right, man.
All right, bro. Enjoy your day.
You too, bro. Thanks.